So, on some of the streams, there's a discussion on insomnia, and there's a lot of crossovers in the information. Um, some people are making some interesting ideas about how to deal with this insomnia as part of long COVID. My last video was on depression, and if you're anxious and you're stressed, it's going to affect your sleeping patterns, which is going to cause insomnia. So there's a link in between levels of depression and anxiety and stress and how readily and how able you are to sleep. The other things you want to be thinking about is something called sleep hygiene. And when you look at most people that have insomnia, they'll work on a certain pattern of developing a routine that goes with sleeping. And part of that routine would be going to bed at the same time each day and getting up at the same time each day. Just to take a little step back, if you're not sleeping, that's going to affect your mood and your ability to cope with what's going on generally in your life. So if any of you guys have had children and you remember that blissful period of the first couple of 3 months, with a child that doesn't sleep and interrupts your sleep constantly, you probably felt pretty well like The Walking Dead. And when you're looking at some of the things that are coming through on the feed about brain fog, lack of clarity in thinking, poor concentration, that is all very, very much symptomatic of sleep deprivation or of quality sleep. So when you look at sleep hygiene, go to bed at the same time each night, get up at the same time every day. That includes Saturday and Sunday. Try and get into bed before 10 o'clock. There's a difference in the way the body processes and runs through the entry into sleep and the sleep patterns after 10 o'clock. So if you can get into bed at 9, even better, but 10 till 12 is a really good high quality sleep, and that's the same for all of us. There's a lot of stuff on there on the feeds about melatonin. Melatonin is like a starter's gun that signals your body it's time to go to sleep. The other part of that is your own body's natural sleeping pattern, sleeping rhythm. And we're creatures of habit. So we get used to shutting down at the same time as starting up, hence going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time. Part of that process is the body cooling down. So you want to sleep in an environment that is slightly chilled. Another trick is to have a bath or a shower directly before you go to bed. That causes the blood to be drawn from the centre of the body out to the extremities, which actually cools down your core and helps you sleep. It signals to your brain that it's time to sleep. Electrical devices, basically don't have them in the room with you. So the big sort of killers of quality sleep are telephones, social media, television and computers, just the internet full stop. 2 reasons. A lot of the modern televisions have a blue backlight which keeps you awake because it simulates the type of light you get from sunlight, and it tells your brain it's time to get up, not go to bed. And when you look at the way that social media feeds are constructed, they're constructed to generate your curiosity. So even pre-COVID, I don't know how many of you guys sort of swore that you were just going to have a quick look at Facebook or whatever before you went to sleep, and then found yourself still looking through the feeds 2 hours later. Don't do it to start with. There are some glasses that you can get from Amazon which filter out the light, and also now a lot of the mobile phones have a filter that you can set that will strip that light out. You want to set the filter for roughly the same sort of time that the sun goes down wherever you're at. So at the moment that's about 5-6 o'clock in the evening. There's also stuff which I'm going to talk about in the next video about some supplements you can take. Magnesium is a musculature anti-inflammatory, so it brings down inflammation in the actual muscle itself. It's also a muscle relaxant, so if you're taking it as part of what you're doing to try and manage some of the symptoms of long COVID, take it just before you go to bed, and that will help you shut down and relax in a natural way. I hope that's been helpful. It's a sort of part of a process that if you can get your sleep sorted out, that will help with your levels of fatigue the following day. And one final thing is you need to give yourself at least 8 hours sleep opportunity. And sleep opportunity is the time you get into bed and the time you set the alarm clock to get up. It necessarily doesn't mean that you slept 8 hours, it means you've been in bed for 8 hours. I would recommend that if you're convalescing or actually trying to recover at the moment, that you pop that up to at least 9 hours and possibly 10.5 if you're not working. You need rest, your body needs to regenerate itself, and if you don't take the rest, you're actually elongating the whole recovery process. I'll talk a little bit on some supplements and bits and bobs in the next video.